So this one's around building relationships. Now, if you want to rapidly make a connection with someone, you can do this by asking questions. And over the last couple of years, I've been experimenting with this to see which are the most impactful questions that I guess really get people sharing with you on a much deeper level. So here we go. Here are my top questions that I love to ask people to really get an insight to who they are. So question number one is, how did you get started? Now this is a cracking question because it's a nice soft opener and people love talking about their journey. They love talking about where they began and where they got to. So how did you get started? Question number one. Another question that's a great follow-on, and you'd probably only use this one once you start building a little bit of rapport, but I love this question, is what in your life to date has given you the most fulfillment? Now again, this is another question that gets people smiling, gets them looking up, thinking around some of their biggest achievements or what they've really been grateful for. And people love talking about these bits and pieces because it's not something that they reflect on all the time. So another great question is, to date, what has been the most fulfilling thing, moment that you've experienced in your life? Question number three. Again, you'd want to use this one after you've built a little bit of rapport, but what do you want to be remembered for? Again, this is all about legacy. People, human beings, they have a huge inclination of, I guess, significance. A lot of people are driven by significance, and this question taps right into that. So if you ask somebody, what do you want to be remembered for? It gets them thinking about their legacy, who they are as a person, what they've shared and contributed to the world. Another great question to, again, find out, I guess, on a deeper level what people are about. Now this one's probably a little bit more practical in nature, but it's, what are you passionate about at the moment? Again, this is great because you can use it at multiple times throughout your relationship with someone, but people generally will cycle as they grow and develop around what they're passionate about. One moment they might be passionate about their family, they might be passionate about a hobby, they might be passionate about something that they're learning, their work, their charities. So asking people, what are you passionate about, is a great question. And the beauty about this question is you might also start being able to think about ways you can add value by knowing what someone's goals, their dreams, their passions are, and how you can help them to pursue that even further. A great relationship builder. I love this one because there's so much learning in it, especially when you're speaking to people that are older, that experience, but it's a cracking question for everyone, all ages, is what's something that you wish that you would have known 5 years ago? So this question is a cracking one because, again, there's a lot of lessons that can be, I guess, plucked out of it. What's something that you wish that your younger self had known 5 years ago? Again, it's a cracking reflection question, and there's a lot of lessons that you'll be able to extract out of this, especially from people who are experienced, because hindsight is phenomenal when you've already walked the path, but we all have to walk that journey. This question gets the person that you're talking to really reflect on a few of the real big tips and lessons that they wish they would have known prior to having to experience it themselves. Again, a great one for accelerating the learning curve, especially if you're speaking to somebody that's an expert in a field that you want to get better at. I personally love this one, just being a passionate reader and learner, is what's a book or 3 books that have changed your life and why? This is one where you get your notepad out, you write it down, because the best book recommendations come from those that have walked the path before you, or those around you, those that inspire you, and you will unlock some gems with this one. And they might even share with you the best bits of advice that they've actioned in their lives based on books that they've read. Or if it's fiction, you might just find a couple of great reads that you're going to find entertaining and enjoyable. So this is a follow-up on the reading question. What is the best thing that you've ever learned? Now, this is another cracking question for relationship building, because it could be something as profound as your child telling you something that you just didn't see and unlocking a lesson, or somebody's mentor sharing with them a piece of advice. That number one thing that people have learned, there's huge value in learning and wisdom in that. So, amazing question. I'd be asking that one to everyone that you know. And the final question. Now, this is critical because in most relationships, Whether you see it or not, the strength of a relationship is based on the value that's created by both parties. It's this fundamental fact. Whether it's a relationship with your parents, your spouse, your kids, your colleagues, if you dig deeper, generally, if it's a strong relationship, it's based on shared value. Whether you've helped them through a problem, you're always a great listener, you provide enjoyment and experiences. So this final question is so critical. What can I help you with? If everyone finished their conversations with this one single question, it would unlock so much value in so many rich relationships that it's insane. So finish your conversation. If you're interviewing a mentor, you want to get closer to your boss, you want to build a strong relationship, what can I help you with? So there's some of my favorite questions. There's probably another 30 to 50 to 100 out there. If you want to discuss more questions and how to build relationships, let us know in the comments, and I'm more than happy to do a follow-up video on this, and we'll share and discuss a few more real impactful questions to build relationships. Cheers.